Welcome to Bullet Point. We are hosts. I'm EP.
I'm JM.
Every week we're going to talk about competitive shooting and everything around it.
So if you are a hardcore shooter, enthusiast, or beginner, this is your show.
So you can easily connect with us through PHLV Radio Facebook page, Bullet Point Facebook page, or simply email us at bulletpointmediaproduction@gmail.com.
Now, don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel so you'd be able to catch the latest episodes of Bullet Point. Are you ready? Stand by.
All right. Hey, Jim. So it was a good weekend for you?
Yes.
Shooting weekend.
Yes, it's a
right?
good shooting weekend. Yes.
So we're going to talk about gears today.
Right.
You know, competitive shooting is really a test of our skills.
Yes.
Right. And not only the skills, the instincts, the experience, and it's a test that you won't pass without the right gears to help us, right?
That is correct. You want to make sure you always have the right gears with you and it's working.
That's right. That's another thing, right? You have a gear and also it's working.
Right.
So we will be sharing some shooting gears with you guys today, clothing, supplies, just to be able to prep you, especially for those beginners.
Yes.
Okay. So JM, maybe the first thing is firearms, of course, the one you were saying.
Yes,
A working firearm.
A working firearm. You want to make sure that your firearm is working. When you go to matches, always ensure that you're able to test out those ammo and your firearm works.
Exactly, yeah. And
You know, they usually have a function bay.
yeah, and then of course, you know, some people or most people they have only one gun.
Yeah.
Right. But because I would suggest to have a backup gun, but it's not
Right.
really necessary.
No, it's
You know?
it's not. But you want to make sure you have your parts that supports that gun, right? So
Yeah.
your springs, your firing pin, all that stuff.
Exactly.
You want to have a backup for that.
Because as what you were saying, hey, you have to have a working firearm, you know, and run smoothly.
Yes.
You know, that's so funny. You know, you have to have your gun, and you want to make sure that it's working.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be finishing the whole run.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Don't forget your firearms at home
You know,
when you leave.
But of course, you know, having two guns, of course, it's going to be expensive for everybody.
Yes.
And maybe what you would want to do, guys, is to have some, you know, bring parts if you could, especially those parts that would need repairs. I think that would be a good go-to if you don't. You know, if you cannot afford a second gun, you know, a few things are worse than, you know, traveling for a shooting match and, you know, having a broken gun.
Right.
And because it's definitely going to be stopping you for competing.
Yes. Yeah. You won't be able to finish the stage. You know, and
You wasted your day.
You wasted your day. You wasted your money.
Oh,
That's the most important
importantly,
thing, right?
And of course, you and I, we always travel. Can you
Right.
imagine? You
Yes.
you just came back from Talladega.
Yeah.
So, you know, flying out of Vegas,
Right.
going there and then without a working gun.
Right. So I
What did you do?
wanted to make sure I brought two.
Okay.
Right. So
definitely,
there's
yeah.
a backup. Whether my gun is going to go down or not, you'll never know.
You'll never know,
because
you know.
you have some outside elements that you can't control, but you want to make sure you're able to deal with that later and pick up a backup gun.
Yeah,
so.
of course. And then, of course, I was telling you guys about those kits or parts that you need to bring, right? So that's it for firearms. You want to make sure that
Right.
you have it, right?
Right.
And let's talk about ammos. How much ammo would you be bringing?
Well, I traditionally, whenever I see the total round count on out of state matches or even local matches, I usually just go up a little bit, maybe 20% of what is required. If the match is about 150, I'll bring like 250.
Yeah.
So that's
Good enough, right?
That's plenty enough.
Maybe what we can teach them, it's just a good rule of thumb would be maybe double the number just to
Right.
make sure.
If you're starting, it
Yeah.
would be safe to at least double that, so you don't have to worry about
So
running
if it's
out.
150, just bring 300.
Yeah, just bring 300.
You know, just
Yeah.
to be sure.
Right.
Right. So you have a lot of extras.
Yes.
Right. So the basic the basic things that you need to do when you go on out there for competition, you bring your firearm, you have your ammo, right?
Yep.
Maybe another thing would be competition holsters, belts, and mag pouches.
Yes.
You call
yes.
it the rig.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. In our world, we call it rigs, right? So you want to make sure you bring that as well because that's pretty important. So true story for our viewers. It just happened a couple weeks ago in Talladega, and it was our squad mate. One of our squad mates. They're from Alabama, and this is our last day of shooting. Is our third day, final day, and the guy lives an hour and a half away from the range.
Okay.
And gets there and forgets his rig.
Oh, wow.
So he scrambled, try to ask for anyone that they have the
That could
same
happen.
waistline and the same fitment for the
gun,
holster.
yeah.
So you don't want that added stress when you're concentrating
Definitely.
to shoot and you're out of state match. So you want to make sure you don't forget that. That's one of the things that you never, hopefully, not forget.
It's fun. Now, this is not funny, but this is what I do. I have a whiteboard.
Uh-huh.
I put
Oh, a
everything there.
checklist?
A checklist. Yeah,
Nice.
no, that's true because
No,
it
that
happened to me
works, yeah.
before.
Yeah.
I went to a range without bullets, and then I did. I went to another
Yeah.
match. I got those bullets. The next thing I know, I don't have the belt.
Right.
It could happen.
Yes.
So just before I leave, I look at those
Right,
checklists.
right.
Even at the back of your head, we know it already.
Yeah. No, it could get stressful.
Yeah.
Forgetting things, and now it throws off your whole rhythm.
Exactly
for the match.
and shooting, guys. Competitive shooting is not just I know how to shoot. It's a lot. There's a lot of mental part.
Oh,
of it,
it's a lot. It's I would say 80% of it is 85% of it is
It's
mental.
mental, right?
Yeah.
So speaking about that holster that you were talking about a while ago, I want to make sure, guys, that your gun holsters. It actually serves three primary purposes. That's the reason why you need it. This is an example of the holster, right? So, the primary purposes of this, of course, security, right, JM?
Right.
And you would want safety,
Yes.
and the accessibility on
Yes.
how to draw your gun in holsters,
Right. So we talk about gears that you would require for shooting. Keep in mind whatever division that you shoot in would also require a different setup.
Oh
the
yeah,
rig,
that's right.
Right. So
good point.
limited would be different.
Yeah.
Open would be different. Carry optics would be different because you want to make sure you do plenty of research for that, and you want to be sure because you go to a match. Sometimes they would measure your holster.
There are a lot of technical parts of just on holsters. Depends of what division you're at. Right? Thank you so much for clearing that out. But just in general, the reason why you would want to have a holster is just to make sure that you have a holster that will be able to hold your firearms, so you can actually maintain a positive control over your gun.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
So and at the same time, the main reason for this one, correct me if I'm wrong, JM. You have to protect the trigger from an accidental contact of your finger.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So is it true on competitive shooting that the trigger is always close?
Right. So you want it's all in the world of the safety language, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So it's always covered, and it prevents from an accidental discharge. You just imagine just discharging your firearm next
It's
to
still
your
in the
foot.
holster. Yeah.
Right. So
We don't want that, guys.
I think I've
right?
seen a couple of videos happen that
and you just don't buy any kind of holster out
Yes.
there, guys, right?
Yeah.
And because you're going to be looking for stability, a good holster,
Mm-hmm.
what you want to make sure that the gun is secured and is stable.
Yes.
I learned that from you.
Yes.
My holster, I copied it from you.
Right. No, folks, you want to make sure it's quality. Now I understand everyone's brand is it's all preference, but you want to make sure it works for you and it's quality. So I always in shooting we see different kinds of holsters,
Yes.
different price points.
Oh, yeah.
For holsters, right? I've always I've gone through probably 3 holsters before I settled to one.
Yeah.
Right, and that's the one that I recommended.
Yeah, and that's what I'm using now. For,
Right. So
oh my God, that
you know,
was a
you
beautiful one,
might
yeah.
you might go through a few of them just to make sure that this is the right holster for you.
Yes.
It's a positive draw.
Yeah.
It's a quick draw. You're able to grab that firearm pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, and safety as well.
Exactly. You know, especially talking about safety, you know, and then stability. You move around a lot
Yes.
during competitive shooting.
Yeah.
You just don't want to have a, you know, not what do you call this, stable
Yeah.
holsters, right?
Right.
You know, again,
Right.
you talked about safety, JM. You know, it again, we were talking about that trigger. It has to protect that trigger for that accidental contact. And you were saying about the accidental discharge. You know, you don't want that firearm to dislodge.
Yep.
You know, without, you know, intentionally dislodging it.
Yes.
You know, so you
Yeah.
don't want that. And of course, you know, for USPSA standpoint, this is compliance,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
So we talked about a lot of those safety regulations the last time.
Yeah, we did. We certainly touched up on it.
And in fact, by the way, guys, those who watched the last episode, you know, we really love the way that you gave us feedback.
Yes.
you reread a lot of those feedback.
I did. It was some cool emails.
And then I reason why I like that is because some people are saying, you know, even though how we mentioned about very detailed topics on safety regulations. In fact, guys, that's just a high level right there.
Yeah.
You know, you want to go visit uspsa.org to read all of those in detail,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
And of course, when I shoot, I don't know about you, JM, peace of mind. You want to make sure you don't want to shoot your foot.
Right. No, well, you know, you want to make sure however you came to the range is the same way
You're
would
gonna go home.
you go home. So, you know, you came in one piece, you want
Yeah.
to make sure you're not injured.
Oh yeah.
You know, and
Going
a
back.
lot of the ranges too, they're pretty good with their first aid.
Yes.
Right,
Yeah.
so they have some protocol. You know, normally, like for example, you know, shout out to SUPS
I love
range.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
They usually do a briefing,
Yeah.
and then they remind us because we're self-ROing
Yeah.
that there are some, you know, the 911. What happens if you know
Exactly.
if there's an accident at the range, and you're going to be able to tend to any injuries or
Exactly.
some sort.
In fact, not all range, shooting range has those.
No.
Maybe another shout out to Mojave.
Yes.
Because
Yeah.
I always listen to them and they
Yeah.
they talk about it.
Yep.
You know, they're very good at that. So basically, this is gonna give you peace of mind,
Yes,
right?
right.
And of course, holster guys, accessibility will allow you to quickly access your firearm because we're talking about competitive shooting. You know, how fast you draw.
Yes.
You know.
Yes.
So I love the holster that you told me to get, which is
Right.
what I'm using right now.
Yeah.
My comfortability, my confidence of drawing.
Yeah.
I love it.
I've seen folks even they're just walking around the range and just waiting for other shooters, and the firearm falls
Oh yeah.
from the holster.
Yes.
Right.
It happens.
So it happens in the match. So folks, if that happens, you cannot pick up that firearm
correct.
right away.
Yeah.
So don't pick
FYI.
it up. Go look for a range officer, and they will pick it up for you. So don't just pick it up. Just
just
nonchalant
because you
and-
just want to pick it up. No.
Yeah.
You're gonna be saying bye bye to yourself there.
yeah, those are grounds for DQ.
DQs.
Yeah.
All right. By now, you know what DQ is,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Not the DQ ice cream.
No.
Okay. Disqualification. All right. So let's go to competition belts.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
So what do you call this? What can you say about competition belts?
Well, same thing. I would say same thing with holsters.
Okay.
I went through,
Quality, right?
yeah, I went through, most of them, and I settled on, I personally use a double alpha with the links.
Oh, I like
connect
that.
it
I, I have not done that yet.
So you just got to be patient on connecting them
I
together.
know. I see that.
But it fits me okay.
Okay.
Others still use the the belt, the thick one. There's
I still use it.
like you know,
I'm comfortable using it.
right.
Yeah.
So it's again, this is preference.
Preference, yeah.
So some of them you might want to check the specific websites for these sellers online, because they don't match exactly what your true waistline is.
Exactly.
So
I paid my dues there. I thought I was sexy.
so you don't want to buy something and you can't return it.
That is so true. But basically, guys, the competition belt really is, this is actually going to keep your handgun and your magazines, because it's all going to be the same location.
Well, there's going to be weight.
Yeah,
right? There's the
definitely.
weight with
It's
the bullets
heavy
on.
with the
Right.
bullets on, and
Right.
the gun.
Yeah.
It's going to be a weight there. So, you don't have to relearn new positions for each, because it's going to be there where you actually connect it, and it's not going to be moving, right?
No, you shouldn't be moving it. Once you put it on there, it stays there, and you want to make sure you don't touch that as well.
Yeah, definitely, because that's the reason why it's there, is for you to have a good access, quick. There's what you call a quick locking system.
Yes.
For your gun, that it actually allows you to easily switch between your handgun and your magazines, right?
Right, right. They got all sorts of like new stuff that always comes out. I always kind of tend to stick to what I know, and how I'm comfortable with, and I'm using.
In fact, that's the truth. That's the truth. You talked about preferences.
Yeah.
So for me, preferences of JM, my copy. Well, basically, guys, a gun belt is designed to, always think about this, to keep your firearms secured and with easy access.
Yes.
That's what it is, right?
Yeah.
So, and of course, you have to be comfortable on using those.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, you are in competitive shooting, and you would want to make sure that everything is easy access and you do it fast.
Right. So, part of that too is you use when you're dry firing.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
You want to make sure that the body mechanics the hand falls where
it
you
should
want
be.
it to be.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I learned this the hard way. I don't do what do you call this, dry firing. No, you cannot. Because you don't train on the live competitive shooting. You don't learn from that, right? You learn from dry firing every day, and then build those muscle memory. I don't know how you do it. What's your regimen there?
Well, I dry fire every day.
Wow.
I dry fire every day. As soon as I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I would
dry fire.
I dry fire just 15-20 minutes.
That's good.
That's it.
Yeah.
And if there's like area matches or nationals, I tend to increase that to, longer times, and then sometimes twice a day.
Yeah.
So it's part of my, like, it's like brushing
daily
my
regimen,
teeth.
right? Exactly.
It's
right.
the same,
Your habits,
Yeah.
your morning habits, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's good. If you really are going to be serious on doing competitive shooting, you will want to make sure that you do this daily habits. It's going to be increasing your skills, right?
Right.
Yeah. Just going back to the belts. Yeah, I know there's an outer belt and there's an inner belt.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So I know that you were telling me that you're using the Lynx.
Right.
That's your outer belt.
That is the outer belt
Okay.
that holds the holster and the mag pouches.
Okay.
I've seen various types of setups on the range. I've seen like just more of a tactical style.
Yes.
If it's level 1, it's those are fine setups. Those are okay setups.
Okay.
So I've seen those as well. I've seen them shoot, and use an inside the waistband holster.
Oh yeah, there are people
and
using
then-
that.
and
For
then-
level 1, that's okay, right?
Yeah, even on level 2s.
Level 2s, okay.
I've seen top shooters like Max.
Yeah.
He shot a level 2 match
Inside.
the waistband.
Okay, that's
it
a
was
good one.
actually pretty cool to see.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
I've seen last week over the weekend.
Yeah.
I've seen some people using that inside ways.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but for for me, the right break for me, my preference really is to have that reinforced core.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
you would want that to be rigid,
Right.
and sturdy. And
Yeah,
then
you don't want it moving. You don't want it moving. The gun flopping around. When you keep in mind, you may be running while the firearm is
exactly
still there.
your dress belt is a no.
Oh no! You don't want that. You
Definitely.
don't want that.
And then the inner belt is the one holding the outer belt.
Yes.
You know,
Yeah.
because you want to make sure that it's reinforced, right?
It's usually a Velcro system.
Yeah.
You know.
So because you would be running, guys. You know, I tried that one time without that inner belt. Now it's actually moving too. You know?
Yeah.
So
It's gonna be bouncing.
it's going to be bouncing here and there. Okay, so we talked about belts, right? Now we're going to be talking about mag pouches. So for mag pouches, there's a lot of mag pouches there, right?
There's again tons of brands out
Yeah.
there.
Preferences again.
Sometimes the your magazine is facing outwards instead of like sideways.
Really? They do that, right?
Henning has that.
Oh, really?
That
Okay.
system, and it's magnet.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. I saw somebody over the weekend using that.
Yeah. So again, you know, it's there's a lot of preference. There's a lot of choices out there. You want to make sure again. You're going to hear me say this all the time. Quality is important when you're
Definitely.
choosing your right gear.
Yeah, I remember, when the first time that I joined competitive shooting, my magazine pouch was just hanging around, loosely. and then, a father of a shooter said, "Hey, your magazine is upside down." But again, guys, for competitors like you and me, the first thing that you would want is to have a magazine that you can quickly get that magazine out, and efficiently access it.
Yeah.
To be able for you to reload the magazine, especially when you have a long stage.
Right.
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 You told me about that Corsa fires.
Yeah.
While shooting, you're counting. This is
Right.
where it is, right?
Yes. No, usually with our division, we shoot open, right?
Yes.
So I usually have three mag pouches and magazines on my waist or around my waist.
Is there a limit for this? You can use
on the open? No.
No. Otherwise, not unless you want to carry so much, a ton of bullets.
Right. You don't want to carry like 180 rounds around you.
I don't know. It's going to be anywhere you only need 40.
Right. So, you want to make sure that, they're spaced correctly. Again, carry optics are laid out differently.
Yeah.
Limited optics and limited and single stack.
Yes.
It varies. So please do your research when you set up your mags and your rigs.
Yes, of course, for mag pouches again, competitive shooting is about time and of course your score.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you do all your movements on a faster time, but with efficiency on getting the score.
Yeah.
And that mag pouches is going to play a good role for
Right.
you to be able to do your goal.
Yep.
Right? Because if you're using a very bad mag pouch,
Yeah.
wherein you cannot even
Or
pull
it's
your magazine.
flimsy.
A flimsy, right? So reloading is a vital part of our game.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So because you're in competition.
Right.
Okay. So sample mag pouches there on the screen. If you saw it a while ago, if you're seeing it at the moment, that's those are just samples of a magazine pouches.
Yeah.
But this is how a complete rig looks like on this slide. So there's your what do you call this? Your holster, your sturdy belt, and your 3 mag pouches. Hopefully we can actually just show it on the screen right now. On the next slide would be the complete rig. So that's how it should look like. Oh, this is a handsome rig. All right. Anyway, there's a lot of what's your go-to? Double Alpha is a good go-to.
Yeah, they're known for me. They're known for quality, good stuff, and they always try to innovate. And I like that in that company. So they always try to make things easier and better
especially for
shooters.
first-time shooters, right?
Yeah,
They're very friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So those are some of the things that are essential for you to shoot. Okay, now maybe we can talk about gunsmithing toolkit.
Yeah.
Maybe these are some of the things that you would want to bring as well.
Yeah.
right?
Do you carry a small toolkit?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I always have that.
Yeah.
For just in cases, it's exactly what you were talking about.
Right.
You have 2 guns when you competed in the nationals.
Yeah.
But of course, especially for first-time shooters, they won't that's not going to be a preference for them to have two
Right.
guns immediately.
Right.
So a gunsmith toolkit would be a good go-to.
Right.
You know.
So if you're pretty familiar with your firearm, you want to make sure that you have a small toolkit that you
Yes.
can strip down in case something happens.
Yes.
Again, this is the what ifs. You're playing in the zone of the what ifs, right? You want to make sure that you're able to take that down pretty quick.
Yes.
And then just a reminder, again, we talked about this on safety. You do this on the safety table.
Exactly.
Okay.
Oh, again, the safety
Yeah.
is always the it's going to be a priority for us. You
Right.
know, and of course, in a broken gun, that will prevent you from competing.
Oh, yeah.
And that happens to me. That happened
Yeah.
to me. You know.
Yes.
Because I had a broken gun, and then I just have to sit out.
Right,
Really,
right. Oh,
those-
yeah. What you're going to be doing is you're just going to be watching your fellow competitors.
You know, or maybe just cheer for them.
That's it.
Right? You know, so that's the reason why it's going to be very important to have,
Yeah.
you know, for you to have a way to fix if there's a need. Well, you
Right.
know, of course, a gunsmith will always be a good somebody to be with when you're
Right,
shooting.
right?
Yeah, but
Somebody
it's-
who knows it.
Who knows it?
Yeah.
But then again, somebody who knows it, but you don't have the toolkit,
Yeah, then you'd be,
you're sitting out.
you're out of luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, some sample kit of gunsmithing. Maybe another thing would be maybe a range bag that you would want to bring.
Yes.
You know,
Well,
do you bring a range bag, right?
I do.
Yeah, me too.
I usually my setup is usually a backpack.
Yeah.
It's easy.
Oh, I
to
love your
carry,
back.
right?
Yeah,
You
that's
know,
a good
I
one.
think you're gonna buy one.
Oh, yeah, I
right?
gotta get one too. You know, I like the color too.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. No,
So-
it's the backpack. They usually hold your parts, your toolkit. You also want some hydration packs.
Yeah,
in
definitely
there.
hydration
A
pack
little
would be
bit of
there,
snack too when you go to the range.
I think the most important thing on your range bag would be your safety equipment.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, your eyes and ears.
Yeah, eyes and ears.
Your ammo.
Yeah, ammo.
You don't want.
Oh, I like the hat.
that. Yeah.
You know, it's gonna be hot.
Yeah. You know.
You know what I like about, I don't know if you actually bring some trauma kit with you.
It's usually in the vehicle.
Yeah, that's good.
You know, so and some of the shooters that we hang out with, they usually have their setup on their belts.
Okay.
Tourniquet-
Oh yeah, I saw that
Right,
too. Yeah.
tourniquets and
Yeah.
bandages and whatnot.
But that's not bad to have. It's a good thing to
No,
have.
no,
you know?
it's
definitely.
it's a preparedness. You know,
And then what I have in my range bag would be, of course, you know, the spare magazines all going to
Yeah.
be there.
Yeah.
More ammunition.
right? A towel. You want a towel.
Oh, you want a
right?
towel,
You want
that's
a towel.
correct,
What else? Oh, I usually do I don't know about you, but I put a chalk, a liquid chalk.
That's right.
Because
the
it's
liquid chalk.
so my hands get they get sticky.
Yeah.
And they especially with the weather here, right? So I use chalk
fact,
to
that's
make
very
sure
good.
that it's dry when I hold.
I like the way that you use your chalk. I don't know if I asked you this one time, you know, how to apply it.
Yeah.
Because I'm applying it like very little here, little there.
You're applying it like a lotion.
Yeah, like a lotion, right? No, it should be really, because
Yeah.
that's going to be a very good tool for you to have.
Yeah.
Your grip is the most important thing when
Yeah.
you shoot.
Yeah.
Okay? So if it's slippery, you know, you will not be able to
Right,
hold your gun correctly.
Right,
Yeah.
right. So
that's a good
I
practice.
I always think of like the weightlifters, the power lifters.
Yes.
Even like the bowlers, they use some
They use
sort
that?
of chalk, right?
There you go.
So it's the same.
Is basketball the same?
It's more of the grip.
The grip.
So like the grip, so
Yeah.
you can grip the ball.
Okay.
Not the
Not for the
chalk.
shooting. Not the chalk. Okay. But another thing is important, again, the one that you mentioned, your
Right.
hydration.
Yes.
And your
Sunscreen.
snacks. The sunscreen too.
Sunscreen
It's
is important.
very important, especially here in Vegas.
Yes, or actually, even on places where it's cloudy
Yeah.
and you think there's no sun.
Yeah.
When you come back from that match to the hotel, you'll see
the
raccoon eyes
Exactly, right?
pop up.
Yeah. So very, very important. All of these things, it has to be in your range bag. You know,
Yeah.
well, if you're a starter, you'll get to know all of this.
Yes.
You know, you don't have to buy immediately all
Right.
of these things.
Yes.
You'll see the reason why as you go along, right?
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes I bring my jacket, or sometimes I bring my extra batteries
Right.
for our 360s.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Or, you know, or extra spare of Allen keys. These are
Right.
small things,
Right.
but definitely will help you to have a very good match.
Yep.
You know, or a very good day. That
Yes,
is.
yeah.
So this is an example of a range bag. If you guys are seeing that on the screen, otherwise, just go out and Google it. Have
Yeah.
a quick look what a range bag looks like.
They're usually cheap, and you don't have to buy the expensive
Yeah,
stuff.
you don't have to
can get
buy the
it
expensive
Amazon
one. Yeah.
is fine.
Yeah,
Or
there are some cheap bags there, as long as it can hold
Yeah.
your knee.
right. Right.
And then again, shooting, it has to be fun.
Yes.
You don't want to add on all those stresses, just like what you mentioned a while ago, right?
right.
All right. And then a sturdy case, this has to be, it's not really a must, but if you can have a sturdy case.
Right.
You use one, I use one.
I do, especially it's just convenient when you travel.
Yeah.
You don't have to worry about your firearm getting dinged
Yeah.
or dropping it accidentally.
Yeah.
You want a hard case. I mean, there's plenty of options out there as well. I mean, it's your budget, depends on your budget anyways.
Exactly.
So and they're usually foam cutouts. You can have a foam made, or you can pluck those pre-cut.
I still use that. That's easy.
Yeah.
There are a lot of reasons why you would want to have that, especially on our guns. We have this red dots.
Yes.
You want to make sure that red dot stays where it should be.
It's zeroed.
It's zeroed, and you want to protect that.
Yeah.
There are other items. I mean, there are some issues that can affect your shooting, like moistures.
Yes.
You don't want
Yeah.
that to be affecting your gun.
Right.
You want to make sure that it stays as clean as possible.
Right.
Because that can actually make your gun jam at
Yes.
one point, right?
Yep.
So
It can.
that's the reason why I actually choose to have that hard case.
Right. Same exact reason.
I copy you, sir. This could be a good sample of a sturdy case. Some are waterproofs.
Yeah.
Just to make sure that's protected from moisture or dust or whatever spill that you
Right.
could possibly do with your gun.
I bought mine just at Harbor Freight. It's pretty cheap.
Really?
Yeah, and
Okay.
it works.
And I'll copy you again. All right, guys. So, you can or not, you can afford not to have to, but then
Yeah.
again, this can actually help you to have a smooth day.
Right.
Okay. So, again, cleaning kit.
Yeah.
This is, maybe the most important one
Yes.
for the cleaning kit. There's a lot of universal cleaning kit out there for a variety of firearms. What are
Right.
you using?
Well, I use a small cleaning kit
me
whenever
too.
whenever I go to matches, but I want to make sure I always have a bore snake.
That's important,
A
the bore
bore
snake.
snake is just a long piece of cleaning cloth.
Yeah.
And then I have a couple brushes in there. And obviously that kind of goes with my toolkit together. So I carry that all the time. And, after you would have to think that your firearm would be enduring about anywhere from like 200 to 300 rounds, maybe in one day.
In one day.
Right. So you want to make sure that you clean it. Maybe for me it would be after about 150 to 200 rounds. I'll
Okay.
just
Yeah,
clean.
likewise. I do
Go
that.
to the safety table. Just run a bore snake, and make sure oil it a little bit on those pressure points.
Exactly. And the reason why, guys, is, you need to clean your guns because safety. Cleaning your guns, it actually prevents malfunctions.
Yes, it
And
does.
that's going to it could be dangerous, guys,
Yeah.
So especially if the gun is being used very often, especially in
Yeah.
competitive shooting,
Yeah.
where we shoot about 300, 400, 500 bullets,
Yeah.
in a competition.
Another thing to make sure that you pay attention on cleaning it are magazines.
Oh, that's
Don't forget that.
right.
Yes, 'cause the magazines they fall on the
Oh,
ground.
look at this. It just happened to me over the weekend. I've been shooting for a while now, but still, magazines can be, a huge issue for you to jam.
Yep.
So the reliability, is not going to be there. You want to make sure that your gun operates as, at the tip-top shot,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
Shape. So, and then of course, accuracy should be there, and then the lifespan of the gun. Because you clean it very often.
Yeah,
You know,
it'll extend. It'll
Yeah.
extend if you take care of your stuff. it'll
The life of the gun will be extended.
it's
That's
the
correct.
same thing as I look at it as the same thing as a vehicle, right?
Yeah.
It's a tool,
Yes.
right? So you want to make sure that it's clean all the time. I'm super OCD when after the match.
Yeah.
I go home, I clean it, and
Yeah, me
I
too.
would make sure
I don't
it's-
wait the next day.
No, I don't-
even
I
I'm
don't let it
tired.
sit there. Yeah.
You know, have you seen those guns like rustic guns?
Yeah.
You know, when I was younger, when I was seeing those, I thought it was just part of it.
No, it does happen. It,
It does
oxidizes
happen, yeah.
and it rusts.
So cleaning and lubricating it,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Before you store the gun, actually will be able to prevent those rust.
Yep.
So maybe you guys can see some of this lubricate. What do you call this? Lubricating oils, because
Yeah.
that's another thing that you would be wanting to have.
Yeah.
Because definitely this will actually the oils. I don't know what you're using, but there's a lot there, right?
Well, yeah, you want to make sure you don't use Johnson's baby oil.
no, that's maybe
But these samples of oils for firearm, I mean, you can find these anywhere.
Yeah.
I use a specific brand like CLP. I don't use grease on my open guns.
Okay.
I've seen folks that use grease.
Yeah, I don't. I don't. use
I
that
don't like
too.
I don't like it because it cakes up.
Yeah,
So I
exactly.
just use like a CLP oil, and then call it a day. That's it.
Exactly,
you know?
and the again, guys, the whole idea there is to to reduce the friction, because when you keep on shooting, definitely friction is going to be there, and that's not going to be good for your gun. And then just to prevent the corrosion, the one we were talking about a while ago, the rust
Yeah.
building up with your gun, right? So I think you might want to make sure that you use the right lubricating oil for your gun.
also the cleaner part,
Yeah.
right? The solvent cleaner.
Oh, yeah.
that you use to get the lead out of your firearm.
That's correct.
The oils and the dirt.
You want to make sure that you flush it all out.
Yes.
Yeah. When I was a new shooter, guys, maybe you have experienced that too. Even the bore cleaner, I was even questioning, why would I even do this?
Yeah.
the what do you call this? The brass. The brass. The what do you call this? The bullet.
Yeah.
It's actually just going out anyway. So what
Right.
am I to clean?
Yeah.
There's a lot to clean inside.
yeah, yeah, yeah. You have the gases from the
gases, what do you call this? The residue from
the powder.
from the powder.
Yeah.
Everything's there.
Yeah.
That's why you want to clean it. So, and again, if you keep on cleaning your gun, it actually reduces the cleaning time too, because
Right.
it's too clean, or
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
less
Yeah.
clean.
right.
Right. So just the dirt, wipe it all off, and you want to make sure that, again, your gun is on the tip-top shape when you compete. All right, I think those are some of the
Yep.
the items that we would want to share with them on the checklist. Not unless you have something to add on, JM.
No, I like how you have a little checklist before you attend a match.
Yes.
So usually the night before,
Yeah.
you double check, triple check everything.
Yeah.
And shoes is very important.
Oh, by the way, we didn't talk about the shoes, right?
Yeah, we almost forgot about
or
that.
maybe the apparels, right?
Or the apparel. Well, you don't have. So if you're a new shooter, you don't have. You're gonna see some of the shooters out there that wears jerseys and all that. So please don't get intimidated.
Yeah, don't,
I was
yeah.
I was intimidated at first when I
Yeah.
saw those. I'm like, oh my god, they're like
That's
professional shooters. So it's all right to have a cool shirt and a breathable shirt,
a
and
hoodie
shorts
or whatever.
whatever
right?
the temperature
Yeah.
is or the weather is.
Yeah.
But shoes are very important. You want to make sure that you have the right
The right
shoes,
shoe.
the right all-terrain shoes. I've seen shooters just wear like regular gym shoes,
Yeah.
so they're slipping and sliding. On
It happened to me too. That I did, kiss the dirt. But that's another story, guys. We're gonna show you maybe one of these days what not to do.
Yes.
Or what you should do when you actually fall.
Right.
Because it can happen.
Yes,
It could happen
yes.
anytime. And maybe in any sport, there are some no-nos,
Yeah.
but you still end up of experiencing it.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe what we could do right now, JM, is to show them some great videos.
Yes,
Yes.
yes. I think one of our one of the top open shooters, Chris. Shout out to our friend Chris.
Halandon.
He's one of the good open shooters. Yeah.
I actually like how he broke down this video.
Yeah, and this was over the weekend too, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Look at that. Look at the quality. Woo!
Yeah,
that was
pretty fast.
That was good. Can we repeat that again? That was a good one. I love this stage and how I love how he finished that stage. Here we go. Look at that.
One for one in the steal.
There you go.
Yep. So that was the match last weekend. It's
over the weekend,
an Icarus charity match. By the way, shout out to Icarus, Team Icarus, for wonderfully ran match, and there's no resetting. Everybody had a great time.
That was a good one, right?
I liked it.
Can you imagine, guys? You go to a competition that you'll not reset.
Yes. I liked it, and it's a charity match, shoot for a good cause, and hopefully everybody had fun that weekend. We did.
I did.
That's great job.
Good job. Kudos to Icarus, Team Icarus for that match. Thank you. Here's another video from Chris.
So this range is at SUPS in St. George.
St. George.
Yeah.
Actually, this, I remember this stage. It's very complicated.
Yeah.
How he shot it was very good.
Yeah.
Right?
So there was a lot of options to do it.
Yeah. Some targets you have to only shoot once. And then some targets you have to shoot twice. And some targets you have to shoot 3 times.
Right.
So you wouldn't know how you'd be able to finish that.
That's right.
That was a great, course of fire.
Yes, and this is our friend Chucky.
Oh, here you go, Chucky.
Shout out to Chucky.
This is
another fast shooter,
open shooter.
Yeah,
Chucky Colinares,
and it's a handsome looking RO there.
I think that was you. I like the side step there.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
that's pretty.
Can we
fast.
do it again, sir?
Yeah.
Can we show it again? This is actually a very good. We could actually learn from this. There you go. Look at the change magazine and the side step.
Yep.
Awesome job
good
there.
Splits.
Good splits too.
Yeah.
Awesome job there, Mr. Chucky Colinares, one of the best open shooters here in Vegas.
Yep, that's right. That's right. Pretty fast guy.
So I think that's it for us, JM, tonight. I hope you guys have learned something about the gears that you, or maybe the checklist that you need to bring when you go to your first match.
Yes, that's right. Plenty of brands out there to choose from. Again, depending on your division, you want to do some research because there are some requirements for your gears.
Maybe I would what I would like you to guys maybe to do, if you may, is go out there to the range, observe, ask questions, and some guidance for these people who's been shooting for a while.
Right. And again, that's the best part about our shooting community. Everyone's super friendly.
Yes.
Just ask. They'll be happy to show or explain to you what gears they have.
Yeah, competitive shooting is another gentleman's game. Yeah. All right, guys. Right. So JM, maybe we could tell everybody we'll see you in our next episode again. Right. My name is Enrico,
and I'm JM.
We'll see you in the next episode.